What's
Boom,
up?
right now. What's going
on? Holy cow. As soon as the thing hit, Shannon Weiss popped up. She's number one. She was the
I
first
see
one.
that.
Golly, she
was
ain't messing
there.
around. Yeah.
She was number one.
She is. Brandon Asher right behind her. She would probably beat a lot of us on the, on the little reaction time.
Yep. Jason Golden from Kansas City. He's on. What's up, Jason? Troy, are you driving? Because I'm not going to give you a hard time if you're driving. You shouldn't be driving, and
he's got one of those smart trucks. You know what I mean? Where it drives itself. Yeah, and you talk to him. He's probably in the back seat sleeping. The drive.
Yeah. Goodness. Chris Padgett, Troy.
Tony Whitmore.
Tony, what's up, Tony? Jason says, "What's up, guys?" Let me see. We got some comments. All right.
Did you get outside today, Gary? It was like 80 some odd degrees outside.
Man, yeah, it was super awesome out. This kind of weather could stick around forever. I don't need snow. I don't need hail.
No.
A little bit of rain and some 70-degree weather would be perfect.
We don't need no 100 degrees either. I love the springtime.
Troy says he's got just under 1,000 miles to go.
Dang.
So check this out.
All right, I'm checking.
I got something pretty important here.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's okay. I'm going to move us over here.
Move us. I see Gary Harper.
Gary Harper. This with Cameron tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Show number 25. Silver 25. Woo-hoo. September 24th to March 3rd. We've blown through 25 of these. Cameron,
holy cow. That's awesome.
Gets number 25. Yeah. So
that's awesome. Man, it's went by fast too, Gary, Man, and I know when we first started talking about this, how we were going to go into the winter and start, interviewing people who are working on their stuff and that sort of thing. I think you said the other day we done 15 or 16 through the winter here.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's gone by fast. Let's just say.
Yeah, and when I logged last week's show into my little spreadsheet, and then put Cameron's in for the date. It's like, holy cow, this is 25.
25. Well, and it almost like it worked out, because what is that? 25th? Is that silver?
Yeah, silver. That's what. That's silver. Yeah.
You got a local celebrity coming in. Holy
man,
cow.
you ain't kidding.
I just watched him on TV all last week, Snow White down.
Millions of people watched him last week on TV.
Yeah. What color is his car again, Gary?
It's white.
Is it white?
Oh, it's white. It is white.
Right on.
But you know what? It is a super, super good looking car.
Oh my goodness. Super good looking car.
I really like that car. You've been working on yours
this week.
Let me just clear my side up. I did not work on my car again. It's going to be tough to go racing when it don't work on my car. But I'm working on
one more tube to put on. That's all you got to do.
Two more drops of weld. Boop, boop.
You do it. I'll come over there and show you how to do it. Give me my where's
Hey, the way I seen you form that piece of aluminum that we're going to weld, you did a good job.
I've learned from the best, man. I tell you what,
I might be out of a job, dude.
I don't think you have to worry about that. That's the truth.
Yep. Do you want to? I got some pictures of some stuff you sent me, or do you want to get into camera and catch us
whatever you want to do
during the show, or
you can run it, run the monologue.
I don't want Cameron to get bored there, but
I know it. I see Tim Webb's here. Jim Robinson.
Cameron, give me a thumbs up. So
he's ready. He'll probably leave. You know what I mean? He's probably signing autographs right now if we don't get him on here.
Danny Copeland's watching. Brian Wise. Hey, Brian, what's up? He says, hey, fellas. Zach Mullen, Jeff Oppenheim. Jeff is from Pennsylvania. You met Jeff at PRI.
I remember Jeff.
We met Jeff. Yep. Chris Wilson. All right, Rod. I got a picture of your. It's a picture you sent me.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
I hope so.
This is what you've been working on.
Ooh, yes. That's what I've been doing. Been over here in the lab, in the garage, getting some garage therapy.
The small block Ford lab.
That's right. Yeah. Cameron wouldn't know what this stuff is. This is like, it's 400 inches. He's got that big motor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a couple hundred shots.
I know, right? I think it's first number is 6 or a 7. I mean, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Holy cow. Got 9 kits on that thing.
You might need some of them nitruses.
Little pump gas 383 here, you know what I mean?
Yep. It's a cute little rascal. Look at it.
Look at it. It's all right. Would you just look at it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I finally got it back together and get it in the car. So it was a good week.
It looks good, man. It's a nice piece.
Thank you, bud. Thank you. Mark really did me right this time, and well, he does me right every time, but we're making some strides. So we're all, you know.
I knew you'd like that.
Oh, would you just look at it?
Would you just look at it?
Oh my goodness.
He's looking at it. He's like, wow.
Wow. Just look at it. Man. What is that?
Jesse James says small block SBF, small block Ford for the win.
Whoop, whoop. That's it. That's it.
Jesse, your Chevy 2 is super, super cool looking. Holy cow. Cool. He put some pictures up today. Woo! Man,
speaking of Chevy 2s, you see that Chevy 2 at the World Series of Pro Mod, just about 10 feet out, just started using the rear wheels only, taking it out.
Lance Knigge.
Golly.
Yep.
Yeah. Harper, that's 3/4 inch race cam. Yeah, sure, right there.
Rodney's. Let me catch some comments here before we grab. Tony says, "What's up, Mr. Harper?" He's on. Man. Yep. Facebook user, hi fellas. I think that was Brian. Tony says, late go. Let's go on party. What's new? Jim Robinson. Hey, Jim. Brandon Ash. Tim Webb. Jared Johnson. How you doing, Jared? And that was Jesse there. Rodney's Motor must have a 3/4 race cam.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that? Oh, Jesse says, thanks, guys. It means a lot. All right.
Let's do it. Hey, you think when we talk to Cameron tonight, we could get a story or two about out of one of the fellas that went with him, you know, from Brandon or Tony? You know, there's that story, you know, when you go on the trip, something happened, you know what I mean, that you don't tell everybody when you got back here. I bet there's a story or two, you know, at 3 a.m., you know what I mean?
Sprinkle some dirt. Yep.
Yeah.
I'd be disappointed if they didn't.
I know. Right on.
Are you ready?
Sure.
I think Cameron's ready. Let's make a spot for him here.
Hopefully he didn't leave.
He's here.
And I don't. It took too long.
We got 40 people. That's pretty solid number for us.
Legend on here. We'll probably have 45 by the time he gets talking. It's on here.
And considering how the Flow Racing live feed was, we probably don't have much competition with that. It's pretty crummy.
That's funny. Hey, Whitmore said we don't tell them stories. Tight lip Tony at it again right there. Right. That's awesome.
Danny says 3/4 race cam and camel hump heads.
There you go. That's all it is.
All right.
Shot, 150 shot.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a 76 millimeter.
76. A little bit of NOS. Let's make a spot. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you watching, welcome Cameron Marsolf. Boom.
Yo.
What's going on, Cameron?
What's up?
Man, we're waiting on you.
How y'all doing?
Good. How are you doing? Are you all freshened up from the big race you were just at? You got all, you sleep in and get it.
We ain't fresh, but we're getting there.
Did you sleep all week and just climb out of bed for this?
No, it didn't quite work like that. Boss man said you better get to work.
Oh, get to it. Get to it.
Get your ass to work.
Yep. Duty calls.
Duty calls. Well, I remember you telling me when I stopped in to see you, pay a little money for the work you do for your services, that I think you guys, as soon as you guys kind of went out, you headed back that night. Is that right?
Yeah. So we, when we got kicked out round 2, we loaded up and we kind of looked at each other and said, well, I guess we're just going to go till we can't. And we drove a little bit and we went and ate, drove a little bit more. And then, I was like, all right, I gotta get a little bit of sleep. And Tony had his C4s. He was all amped up, ready to drive the race. We switched spots. I went and got a few hours of sleep and we just kept driving all the way straight through. So
nice.
It was, it made really nice that way. We got home about 3:30, 4 o'clock that afternoon. So just being able to get through was nice. So we were all ready to be.
Oh, I bet after that.
If we were tired of each other, or we just ready to be home. But
oh yeah.
When did you pull out? We seen that video of your rig pulling out. What day was that?
Sunday about 2 a.m.
Man. Whew.
Yeah.
Whew.
Left Sunday about 2 a.m. and we got there about 8:30 that night.
Yeah. Because in our show, Drew or maybe it was Brandon. Somebody said he's like 10 minutes out. He's practically almost there.
Yep.
Wow.
And with going out there, obviously we gained an hour. They're an hour ahead of us, but yeah, their time we got there about 8:30 that night and got parked and yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll touch on that here in a little bit, but we just want to talk about, you and a little bit of your racing career and that sort of thing. We kind of talked offline. You're into a little bit more than just small tire racing, it sounds like. So we'll touch on that as well. But so you kind of grew up around here and that sort of thing.
Yep. I grew up in Wichita, went to school here. Yeah, I mean, I went to Wichita South. I live around you now, Rod, but I went to Wichita South. Kind of always been in sports with, motors, sports that go fast, anything kind of motorsport wise. My BMX racing I did for about 15 years of my life growing up, from time 6 till about 2021 off and on. I did that all over the place, all over the country for about 15 years of my life. So
that's you.
Yep.
Does that say the shocker?
That does.
Oh,
is that you? Awesome. Is that you with the red helmet?
Yep.
All right. So you're winning.
Yep.
Man.
That's cool.
When was this? How old was you?
In that picture, I was probably 16 or 17, I would say. I don't know, maybe 15, somewhere in there.
So just a few years ago then.
Yeah.
Last week.
It seems like it, man.
Do you remember where this picture was taken?
That was actually at Emory Park down South Wichita.
Okay, right on.
So that was just one of our local. I think we used to have what they called a pro-am, which pro racers that would race each other. I think that's when that was taken. So,
were you racing with Race Lee, Tracy's son?
Yeah, he was kind of came around kind of towards the end of when I was kind of getting out. He was around when he was a little kid, and hell, he grew up to be pretty quite the superstar. He took it serious, and in that sport, it's one of those kind of independent deals. Obviously, there's still teams and stuff, but I owe it all to probably that sport for kind of setting my head straight, giving me a headstrong, confidence, ability to do stuff on your own, etc. Like I said, that was my whole life for my whole time growing up. Basically, my parents took me all over, everywhere around the whole country. By the time I was 15, I had been all over the United States. So
wow.
This is what's cool about this, because we had no idea that you was a serious BMX racer for 15 or so years. We had no idea.
Yep.
This is cool to learn this kind of stuff about people we talk to.
Well, and I kind of up, there's a lot of people, that grow up drag racing their whole life, juniors, get into big dragsters, or they get into door cars or whatever, they grew up around it. Obviously, we still would go to the racetrack. We would, go to all the big events, watch, etc., spectate. But that was kind of, that sport was expensive enough. And so we had to pick, we had our one sport, and that's kind of what I loved to do when I was growing up. So
that's awesome.
Wow.
You touched on something that you're talking about when you're younger, and you it sounds like doing this, it built that drive in you, that independent, team, or you're out there by yourself. And I could see that in your business and in racing, that drive.
Yeah, so it was one thing, that I kind of, as you get older, you kind of reflect on how things influenced you, and as I got older, my dad would always tell me, it's like, yeah, that bike racing must have did something, so it's just, it was one of them deals. I mean, I would love to continue doing it, but now I'm old and fat. So
yeah, I bet you were in shape back then for real. You know what I mean?
yeah, it was quite when you meet people from all over, I mean, all over the world really. And I still keep in contact with several, people that I grew up racing with. I mean, we built friendships that last a lifetime, doing that stuff. So
absolutely. What kind of car did you drive in high school?
Oh, so I had a little Mitsubishi Eclipse. We had a little S10. Hell, drove my mom's car sometimes, just whatever I get to school in. But I had a little Chevy S10 that I drove for quite a while.
Right on. That Mitsubishi Eclipse have a little turbo on it?
No. It's just a little 6-cylinder, something that my dad had bought for getting better gas mileage instead of the work trucks, and me and Drew would pretty much take it all over the place. There was one time, we would sneak off in it. Actually, Dad didn't know, but
Sure.
he'd come. Holy hell, we got 100,000 miles on this thing already. Where did it come from? We pulled in the driveway one time, and it was parked, and we went back out, and the pulley had literally fell off in the driveway. And I'm like, man, I don't know what happened. It was just it
was just, we came out. It's just sitting there. I don't know.
Don't quite know.
That's awesome.
So we ran around in that thing for quite a while. Later, when I was probably a junior is when I got my first work truck, and it was full size Chevy truck. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So, quick question. Did you get into drag racing first, or did you get into your business first?
We kind of both. I had, I was probably 13, 14 in there somewhere. And, my dad was trying kind of different things. I was kind of in a burnout stage of my bike racing. We had been going hardcore for a long time. We were riding 4-wheelers, dirt bikes, anything to have fun, and we'd go out to the racetrack all the time. And so he found this Monte Carlo, 78 Monte Carlo, had a small block Chevy, 355 Vortec headed deal in it. And we got that's later on. That's later.
Oh, later. Okay. Yep. I was like, is this it?
I don't even have a picture of this. I looked and looked, but it was just a Monte Carlo. And we ran like low 12s with it. It was pretty consistent. 1201, 1205 kind of car. And I had several buddies that, we all had friends of friends. And that's kind of how me and Tony's relationship started. Was obviously he was putting the red Mustang together way back then for the first, basically the first time. And we had a mutual friend, and we met, and we never left, I guess. I don't know. So we would drive out to the racetrack out at WIR back then. And, Wednesday night testing, or Sunday, when they'd have all the test and tune stuff, we'd drive out there, and I bet we would make 50 back-to-back passes. We would just keep on going, and then we'd drive home, and that was kind of my first start of, actually, doing the drag racing on my own, etc. But yeah, that was when we were just young teenagers. We didn't even have a driver's license then, so. And he was like, "Yep, good. All right, see you guys later."
That's awesome.
But yeah, we'd had a blast on that, and then obviously we hung around the street racing stuff a whole lot, and that's kind of where I met a lot of the people, from back then. Was the street racing was pretty big back then.
Yeah.
Back in them days, heck, you'd have your few different spots where everybody'd meet up, and I'd hitch a ride. I was still young then. I would hitch a ride. We raced my car a few times. I had my kryptonite that I could never get around, and and Tony car, and heck, I can remember, Jesse James is on there. I can remember riding around with him and his stuff, so Jesse Whitmore, he had copper top back then, and that was
You still in high school or just after high school?
Yep. I was still in high school.
In high school, okay.
Yep. That's when I kind of met all, kind of them guys, and then just kind of grew up. I mean, we all did the same stuff, so as far as after high school, I had just graduated and I had bought that Cutlass that you showed a picture of, and it's tore down in those pictures, but I had bought that Cutlass from a guy here in town. It was one of Jesse Whitmore's buddies, actually, and it had a big block Chevy in it. And so we messed around with that for quite a while. I actually still have that car, and it's pretty much still in the current state that it sets in that picture. I'll never get rid of it. We'll put it together here sometime. I just have other stuff occupying me right now, but yeah, we had that. And so basically when I tore that car, so I had a little mishap on the engine. We were racing up north with all the people on Coleman Road. We had a little mishap, and so I started tearing it down, and had my money saved up, and we started tearing it down. And about that time was when me and my dad actually split from. We were partners in a business before luxury came along. I don't know if you see on that back window. It's called Turf Masters. We ran that for about 5 years, and at that point in time, it was just time for me to. I was kind of a young go-getter. I wanted to try to see what I could do, and he was content in life. Not that we had anything bad going, it was just I was kind of ready to see what I could do, So that's kind of when the car got tore apart, and then I had money to put it back together. Well, then here came luxury. Had to be born. So that pretty much took all my money for the next 10 years. I mean, we worked 80, 90 hours a week, every day. We were young then though, and that's what we did. And
sure,
it kept us out of trouble. I mean, for sure, it kept us out of trouble. We had to take care of business before the playing, started happening. So it was probably about 10 years. And in between that time, I would buy parts for that car, this and that, kind of add up stuff. You know how it is. And so during that time, I had found the Malibu that I had. The shell was kind of a little more rustier than I anticipated when we went to go pick it up, but the chassis work on it was phenomenal on it. And so we ended up picking that up. I had picked up big block Chevy along the way, which was the motor that, when we put the car together, it was in. But that sat in my garage for 10 years as well, before we put it together. And finally, work was kind of getting to, I mean, we started getting enough hands on deck to where I could kind of, start doing some stuff for my own sake. I was getting burnt out at work. I needed to figure out something to where, I could focus on something else than just work, because to a point in life where, I mean, work will always be there. You can always make more money later. And, we were just, I mean, like I said, we'd worked 70, 80 hours a week, for a long time. And it was getting to a point where I needed to do something for myself. And so we had a bunch of parts gathered for the Malibu, pretty much everything. And of course, the whole changing as you go stuff always gets you. But me and Tony talked, and it's like, man, let's just put this together with what we got. And I suckered him into working a lot of hours and putting for the most part, I helped a very little. That was kind of the plan, but then he just took it and he ran with it. Tony's super smart. He's knowledgeable. He's pretty good at what he does. So he's kind of been by my side through all the racing stuff. So we put the Malibu together. We raced it for a little bit. I think we went like a 504 in that car.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
It was just it was heavy pig, so.
Before I got the pictures of the Malibu, I'm gonna put that up next. I got just a quick little deal to run with you on here real quick. Absolutely. I was stalking your Facebook page. You graduated high school in 2008.
Yes, sir.
It says, and this is a question about your business and stuff. Studied entrepreneurship at Cali Community College, and you studied entrepreneurship and marketing at Wichita State, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you're in the lawn and landscape business now. Did you take those entrepreneur classes, and then want to do the lawn and landscape stuff, or did you already want to do that and go to the college to kind of make that a better business?
I've
chicken or the egg, which one?
Right.
You know,
I've been around this landscape industry since I was about 6 years old. My dad had growing up. He sold out to a bigger company. Turf Masters, I actually started when I was in high school because of my BMX racing. I had to travel every weekend when you were 14, 15 years old. For one, job was hard enough. For two, getting off on the weekends when you're 15 years old, you know. Pretty much my bike racing stuff, if I could get to the race, you know, as far as transportation, gas, stuff like that, everything else was pretty much fell in place. You know, my team manager would be there, teammates would be there, etc. So I would room with them. They took care of a lot of stuff for me. And so that was kind of my whole deal of, you know, I had worked during the summers, you know, for wherever my dad had been. You know, there was 3 different companies. And so as I was, I mean, a little kid, you know, so it was all I knew, you know, this landscape and stuff was all I knew. And so he was partners with another guy here in town. They had a pretty successful business going. I worked with them when I was 12, 13, you know, all them years, you know, just as a summer job, you know, and it was all I knew. And so at that point it was, hey, let's get my own equipment. Let's hustle up, you know, a little bit of clientele and make a little bit of money to where we can make it to the bike race. And so that's awesome. Kind of how that started. Like I said, that one went for 5. I was a part of it for 5 years. He ran it for another, I think, 2 or 3 years after that, and then ended up coming back with me. But yeah, luxury will be 24. Yeah, luxury will be 14 years old this year. So
wow, congratulations! Holy cow!
Thank you. So college was one of those deals when I was in high school that they push. You got to go to college. You got to go to college. You got to go to college. You know, I actually had a academic scholarship to WSU that I went to my first year, and absolutely hated it. Hated it. You know, I was going to be, before that, I went and toured K-State, and I was going to try to do the landscape architect deal. I always knew in the landscape industry. I just didn't know where I wanted to be. But like I said, I went and toured K-State. I didn't like it there either. So I had an academic scholarship to WSU, which I had kind of grown up around that campus. My grandpa worked for Airmart for many years that managed everything on WSU's campus. But like I said, I was also working full time at that time too. And so I would work 60 hours a week, and I had 17 credit hours that I took at the same time. And you would work till dark. You would do homework till 1 a.m. You'd go to sleep for a few hours, and then you go to school, you know, back to class at 7:30, you know, and it was just, it was tough for me. And that's what I kind of always, I don't think college is bad. I don't think it's good. I mean, it's not for everybody. I think it's great on certain aspects, but it's not the absolute, that's all you got to do, you know? So
right.
If someone, you know, has a drive and an ability they want to chase after something, you know, do it. I mean, but I was in the state where, yeah, I wanted to try to better the business that I was going to try to build. And so I wanted to learn more, you know, in the entrepreneurial marketing type stuff. But also college, I think, is something that you need to be focused on, you know. I mean, you take 15, 17, 18 credit hours, you know, I mean, it's a full-time job, you know. It's hard to work full-time and do school full-time. And that's where I failed at, you know, at college. I mean, I never got a C or D until I got to college. You know, so my first semester, I'm like, holy crap, you know. But like I said, college, I think, is something you got to take serious, you know. And that's, if I was to ever had kids, I just wish that, you know, hopefully I could give them, if they want to go to college, you just focus on that, you know. And that wasn't something that I necessarily had, but at the same time, you know, I had clientele built up. I mean, it was one of those deals that, man, do I just leave all this behind and continue school, or do I try to just do my business and school will always be there later? And so, actually, I only did 2 years of college, and then I said I just couldn't keep up with it. So So that was kind of one of the deals. You don't want to be a failure, but at the same time, it's like, let's chase after something that, that I think is going to work. So
I did not go to college, but I'm watching my daughter Kennedy, how she's paving her path and working her way around, balancing work and school, and it's interesting she's doing a great job balancing all that, but
and it's hard to do.
Not easy.
Yeah, anybody that can do that, I mean, kudos to them, because it's very hard. I mean, that's very hard, especially like I only, not, to be rude, but I went to Wichita Public School. The academics there weren't, I mean, it was easy to get A's and B's, it was, you had to show up to class, and so you go to college, it's like starting all over again. Like, oh,
right.
This is serious, so, but like I said, it's just one thing that I think there's not a wrong way or a right way, it's every person's book, and that's what I mean, you look at the trades nowadays, I mean, they're huge. Trade service, I mean, all that stuff. I mean, there's just tons of stuff that, that you can do outside of that, but also you can go to college and, and learn a whole lot of stuff. So that's what I always try to express to kids, is don't let someone force you one way or another. Yeah, you need a little forcing because you're a kid, but at the same time, if you have a goal or a dream, I mean, there's no problem in chasing it, so.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I gotta say, I think you're in your 30s, right? Ish.
Yes, I'll be 34 in May. Cinco de Mayo.
So you guys in your 20s and 30s, like Jesse James with his heating and air business.
He's old.
Well, I don't know how old he is, but Jordan Manning, his repair shop. You guys that are young like that are killing it in your self-employment business, man. I admire. I'll be 53, and since I was in my mid 20s, I've tried to think of something to do, self-employment wise, and I just couldn't come up with anything. And here I am, 53, and I'm riding the aerospace, train now. So you guys that are killing it in your 20s and 30s, man, that's admirable, the successful businesses you guys have.
I appreciate that.
So kudos to you guys for killing it.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's one thing that, I mean, about 3 times a year, I say, well, it'll be easier just to go work for someone and let them deal with it. Then I have to step back and be thankful for what I have and what I'm able to do at this point in life. And then it kind of, sets in, reality sets in, it kind of checks you, so, without the guys that I have now and the knowledge that we have built in our business, there's no way I'd be able to do any kind of drag race and any kind of extracurricular activities. I mean, nothing, because these guys, we've built something that, that I'm proud of, but also at the same time, they can do the stuff now, it's not just me 100%, these guys, they got it going on. So.
Well, you made a good point. I mean, you put that first 10, 15 years in, or 10 years where you're doing 60 hours a week and that sort of thing. So, you're at the next step of the process, if you will.
Right.
But,
right. Yeah. That was kind of, you have an image in mind, that you kind of set forth. I always look into the future a lot. I'm kind of weird like that, and just kind of see, hey, where can we be, or what can we do? Some guys, they're lucky if they have a 55-hour week, and that's like when it's pouring rain on a certain week, but usually, we're 40 to 50 hours now, pretty normal. And it's kind of weird. I talk to my competitors, they're like, oh yeah, 60 hours a week. And I'm just like, I get it. But we were at a point where, we were paying so much money in overtime, we couldn't make no money,
Right.
And of course the guys loved it, but I couldn't afford to pay them better wages because the overtime was just killing us, and so we kind of had to step back and figure out, hey, how can we do this and do it right, to where we're not just doing this for nothing. So there's a lot of different learning curves in there. So
you bet. So back to the Malibu.
Yep. So the Malibu, my restart in drag racing again.
Malibu.
Yep. That was when we first pushed it out Tony's house, and it had seen sunlight. So
right on.
Sunlight in a long time, and that was kind of a proud moment right there, because I was like, man, it ain't nothing much, but it's a lot to me, so.
This is Nick Roberts' comment. He says, is that the Malibu I had the pleasure to race on the street a few years back?
Yep, that's the same one.
That's it.
We were just looking at the flashlight. It was just there on. And we were like, what are we doing? Hell, even Nick was looking, and then he took off. I was like, oh, we're supposed to go. I got it. But yeah, I'm going to, we're going to be in the works of getting that back together here, hopefully next winter or so. We had pretty good luck with it. Like I said, it was a blast for me because it was not quite what the Camaro is. It was something where I could get my feet wet, learn. That's what a lot of this stuff has been, is just taking in all the different knowledge and building relationships with people that can help, that have helped me, and figuring out what's what, and trial and error and this, that, and the other. But that Malibu was a good start. I mean, heck, me and Lauren, we drive down to test and tune in Tulsa when we first, after we had that together, and we just keep going, just figuring out different things. And, I would send videos and stuff back to Tony, say, well, let's try this. And then, we just bounce ideas off each other. So, but like I said, I think we went like a 505 down there in Tulsa in that car. And so it was a fun car. I know it had bull horns, but heck, we'd get in it and go drive it around the street. So
what are you going to do with it? Is it going to be on radials still, or no prep, or what?
That chassis is pretty comparable to my Camaro. So I don't think I need two of the same cars. So what I want to do is I want to do a little street racing with it. I want to do a little slick tire racing, and that way, hard telling if radials will be around forever. If the prep's ever going to be there around here, you just don't know, and kind of we grew up on the street, racing stuff on, IMCAs and slicks, and so I want to get kind of back to that point with that car, I think, and something that I can hop in. I can go drive down the street if I want. It'll be probably a little more rowdy than I want to just go drive around, but I'm going to together so.
When we talked to Logan Metcalf, he blamed everything he's doing. He blamed everything on Shane Mock.
Yeah.
So you're a nitrous guy. You blame that on Tony?
Kind of, sort of. He's turbo guy now, so
Yeah.
He's kind of switched the field. So I'm just trying to hold it down for us over here, but yeah, that's his roots, right there.
Yep.
But it was like I said, when we were messing around with, heck, even the Monte Carlo and the Cutlass, and we just had big shot plates on them back then, and we a little timing retard knob, and you just turn the knob and go, so that was kind of that's really all I've ever messed with, and like them guys, they always say, just put a blower on, all you gotta do is mess with the timing.
Right.
You ever thought about that, switching over to boost?
I thought about putting a blower on the Malibu, just for easeability, as far as being able to go out on the street and stuff, but I still don't know, I change my mind every day, it seems like, so.
Sure.
It's just one of them deals.
Sure.
But yeah, hopefully soon we'll get it back together, and it's just sitting over here in shambles right now. Yeah. So it went to, like I said, the body was a little rougher than I anticipated, and so it went to Metcalf and got quarters on it and rockers and stuff, and it's all roughed in. It's just we gotta figure out what we're gonna do, and then it'll go back to Metcalf, and he'll do the final touches on it. So
nice. So
you gonna paint it white?
No, I think I'm probably gonna keep it still that excuse me, that puke green. Just maybe add a little pearl to it and make it shine a little bit, but I kind of like that old ugly color. So
so talk to us about the Camaro, how that kind of developed, the Malibu, you decided to do something else.
Yeah, just being dumb, it's just it was one of them deals that, when you're on Facebook and you're a part of all these groups and you see all this stuff, it's like, man, yeah, that's cool. And the car actually came out of Texas, and it had like a 10-point in it, 12-point cage in it, and it was not very safe at all. It was those deals that originally the original hoop and stuff, the Smith Racecraft people, Andy and Kim, they had built originally. It was kind of one of them cars that they had a few different cars that they did all kind of the same. This one was just put on the back burner, but it another guy had bought it from them and had a guy weld in some different bars and stuff. And when I had I took it to Alan, and he literally took a dead blow hammer and could knock the door bar out of the car.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
It was the start of what it became now. Was, I mean, he went through, we tore the whole car down. He did a bunch of updating on the chassis that time around, and made it to where when we first brought it out, kind of what it was, it's ladder bar car, still always been a ladder bar car. It used to be a leaf spring car. It still had the leaf spring perches and all that stuff in it, but this last go around, we kind of cut all unnecessary weight out of it that we could. But
right.
The first go around, when we first kind of came out to Arc City and nobody knew anything, and we won our first race, that was kind of cool. And that was kind of the start of that first year. We had a lot of success that first year. I mean, we went
2019.
20 or 21, I believe. Maybe it was 20, because it's been down for 2 years. Yeah, 20 or 21. I'd have to go in there and look. But so we raced. I mean, we ran over to Ozark, Mocan. I mean, we raced all them. Tulsa. We raced all them tracks and kind of got our feet wet in a bunch of different deals. And that was very first Hall EFI deal that I had ever messed with, that Tony had really ever messed with. And so we just put our heads down and just kept learning on it.
Lauren says 2020.
Okay.
2020.
Yeah, because I think me and you raced in Wichita, right? That was 2020, right?
Yep. And I mean, you guys know as well as I do, we fought Willys on that car for a very long time, and we we fought Willys for a very long time, and we just had to keep chipping away at it. It was one of them deals that it had a little more power than I had ever dealt with. I mean, it drove it fine. It was all good there. The Willys. Yeah, that was in
that was Texas.
Yep. Yeah.
I lost some money on you down there.
Yeah.
I was betting $20 bills down there with these guys in the starting line. This is my local guy. I got $20. Yeah.
But that pass right there, that was probably the best track we had ever been on at that time. And so, yeah, we tightened it down and had some weight on it, but it still just wasn't enough. And that was Shane Heckle in the other lane. And I remember just kind of going in, and I thought I was going to deep stage, and then I let off the button and 006 against him, but then the wheels were in the air. So, but yeah, that was a fun. I mean, it's been fun. It's like I said, it's been fun trying to learn all these different tracks and learn what we can do and what we can get away with. That deal there was a 582-inch motor that was pretty. I mean, we could tame it down. I mean, we could go down about anything after a couple tries at it. So. That's one thing, that learning the suspension on it, and that's one thing that Tony's always been really good at. I mean, he's pretty good with the suspension stuff. So he's taught me a lot over the years, obviously, and it's paid off for the better for sure. So, yep, that was the night me and Tony raced each other in the finals, and he got his ass drug.
say it louder for him in the back.
But hey, let's take it back a little bit. You're talking about using Allen, which is a fantastic decision.
Yep.
I know that you took that car to him the first time and other times since then. But talk me through that, that relationship and why you went over to his place and chose, that lane. What do you got?
So when we were putting the Malibu together, again, so a long time ago, you guys know Marvin Jenkins. He did a lot of some of the stuff on the front end, and other stuff, throughout the car, way back then. And then I just, it just got put on the back burner again. But fast forward, we were putting the Malibu back together. He did some stuff on the Malibu and wired it and all that stuff. Obviously him and Tony and Jesse and all them always known Alan for a long time. Me and Alan have always known each other, just never had a real close relationship of any means, when it was back then. And I don't know why he picked me. We just hit it off, and now he can't get rid of me. So
well, what's nice with Alan, you got Doug with it. It's a 1-2 right there.
Yep. And that Doug helps Alan a lot. And like when we were doing the Camaro, the revamp this last time to what it is now, I mean, I'd be over there just piddling on little stuff, and Doug and Alan just plugging away at stuff. But Alan doesn't mess with a lot of people. He doesn't deal with people, and he keeps it simple. He has a select few people that he deals with, and I'm very grateful to be one of those that he chooses. So he, between me and Tony and all the other stuff that he does, I think he gets tired of us, but he genuinely loves the sport and loves building cars. He just does it on the side, and I mean, his work is it's phenomenal. I mean, he knows basically everything when it comes down to that stuff. So there's certain stuff, he'll tell you, I don't know, but he always figures it out. So how kind of keeps to himself and pry information out of him, but I mean, he's been around for a long time. I mean, him and Doug helped Marty, when they were back X racing for a long time, so they'd been around it a long time. So, but now
he's a Chevy 2 with a small block and a clutch, if I remember right, back in the day. Right. I'm talking 1900s here.
Yeah. Yep. And so we built our, I mean, hell, we're super good friends now, and he does more for me than he probably should. I just got to give him a little bit, twist his arm a little bit. And he's like, okay, like the Zoomies, which are on the Camaro now, he was 100% against that for a long time. And now he's still against it. So, because we can't read O2 worth a dang on that. So, so he always rubs it in my face. I told you so. I told you.
Yeah. No, so do you have 8 O2s? Is there an O2 in each tube? Or?
Yep. So there's 10 O2s. So the average on each side, and then there's one in each cylinder.
Wow.
Is that one for each nitrous kit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nitrous kit.
That's awesome. So, you said you were down a couple years and that sort of thing, and obviously you wanted to step up your program and stuff, and you changed everything: wheels, tires, color, motor, training, converter. I mean,
we were. It's just a domino effect, when you do one thing and then it's like, well, you got to do this and this.
Hold on, Gary. This is where you need to listen.
I know.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I'm guilty because, we went to do a couple things and we were just going to put a bigger motor, and then it's like, okay, the car's all back apart now. I mean, the floor's out of it, the everything, the rear end's. So then by the time we do all that, it's like, oh, okay, well, here's the time that we need to do all this little stuff if we're going to do it. This last time around, Alan knocked out a bunch of weight. He added some more bars to the chassis. Carbon fiber, which he hated. Well, I mean, we pretty much revamped the whole car pretty much this last, so made it to where it's pretty much at its point right now is pretty much all it'll ever be. So it's stock frame rail car. Got a tube front end, but it's stock frame rail car. It's all X275 legal. And our race weight, we had to be 2,900 pounds in Georgia. So, but then we had to figure out how to put this, the bigger deck height motor in it. And, we moved the motor forward a little bit, just trying to, figure out the wheelie and stuff. Last timer. And then, I mean, we did brake. I mean, we did everything. Pretty much a complete redo this last time around. So, we were waiting on, and it all comes down to, we were waiting on a block and crank for the setup that I wanted to build. And so while we were waiting on that, you just keep tearing more and more stuff apart, and then have the domino. So
well, let me ask a question that Gary is just dying to know. Why did you go white?
White's my color. White is my color. Everything.
That's a good color.
Yep. I like white. And I thought about it even when I first had it when it was gray, but it was a pretty nice color, where it was then. But this time around we had it all tore apart. I'm like, well, now's the time. If we're gonna do it, let's do it. And
right,
I yanked on Metcalf's chain a little bit, and he got me in, and because I redid the nose and all that. It put a new nose on it, a one-piece nose on it this last time.
right.
We kept the same doors. We fixed the doors, but we had several areas that needed fixed anyways. I had a couple of times in Ozark, the wind picked up and blew the hood down the side of the car, and so it had a couple gnarly rashes on it. And
oh yeah,
with the nose being all brand new anyways, we were halfway there. So let's just
Tony says it's old plain Jane.
yeah, him and his
Rodney, like Cameron's car is white and it looks really good with them polished wheels. If you ever made a wheel upgrade on the front to some 17s, some polished would look really good on your car.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was thinking about when you said all your trucks or all your color is white. I'm thinking about your business. All your trucks are white too.
Yep. Yeah, everything's white, and I've just always liked white. I guess even when it's dirty, it looks good. So
yeah.
This is George Thomas. Now we know his favorite Disney movie, Snow White.
100%. A joke about that name, this, that, and the other, but without snow in Kansas, that car wouldn't be where it's at today. So that's the name kind of does have a backstory behind it, because it's been built off of snow removal money, basically. So
okay.
That's good. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
I like that.
Like I said, the snow is big when it's for us, but it's not all the time. We don't get snow here all the time, and so we have tons of equipment that we keep on hand, all the time that doesn't get used, a lot of times. So,
and this is another guy with a white car, Jared Johnston. Car looks awesome, white. And when it's flying past you, did you fly past Jared?
Down in Georgia, and they were he's got all new setup, back on that car again, and they were getting it all figured out. And by the end of the weekend, I'd seen that car go make some pretty good licks, so I was fortunate enough to have him earlier in the week. And so, it was one of them deals, but yeah, he's got a whole brand new deal in that. So,
we might need to grab Jared sometime and drag him on here and get his story.
Right.
He's been around a long time.
Yep.
Had some really fast stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I remember, heck, when I was younger, I'm pretty sure he held a record for a little bit with that car. So,
yeah.
So, talking about building a car for X, you kind of living in that X lane. Around here, of course, we don't have anything like that, and even in Texas. But the goal, though, was to go to Georgia.
Yeah, I wanted to go to some of these bigger races. Tony took me along to Georgia a couple years ago, and if nobody's been, even just to go, I'm glad I didn't have a car the first time, because I was able to roam around and check everything out, and all this different stuff. You go into people's pits. It's wild. These guys are wild out there. So, hell, you seen Stevie Fast, the damage he did to his, and they're just tearing it back apart, welding it, putting it all back together, right there. They put that car to pro mod trim in the pits of South Georgia Motorplex,
Yep.
So, these guys are the real deal down there. And I always wanted to kind of, that was kind of my goal, is to go big boy racing for a little bit, and if I was able to, and that's deals that I won't be able to do it for a long time. And hell, that might only be the last, that might only be the only time. But but like I said, it was an experience, and it was one of them deals that, I've always wanted to do, just from where kind of my chassis is.
Look at that.
Would you call that your bucket list race?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, it'd be one of them for sure. Like I said, if nobody's been there, even, you got to go at least check it out, even just to spectate. It's wild. And there is some bad racing. It's super cool. Obviously the fastest rated cars in the world are there. So
where did you qualify when the qualifying was all done?
I think we ended up 9th. I I think anyway. So I wanted to go, and if we could try to qualify top half of the field was kind of my goal going there. We were also, another goal was trying to figure out the tune up on this car. Is we've been racing around here a few times, this late last year, and it's just fat. The tune's real fat, and so we just wanted to try to get everything kind of cleaned up, and so I have a guy that's helping us with that, and he was down there, so it was very good to have everybody hands on, while the car's there. Helping remotely only gets you so far, so. But like I said, we were able to get it fairly cleaned up. We went all week we didn't hurt anything all week. So that says something, I think the fastest we went was a 102.60 and we went 425. So
nice. That's awesome. Well, and I think you made 8-10 licks with all the testing and everything. You guys were beating on it.
A couple delays. We planned on testing all day Monday, all day Tuesday. We only got, I think, one test on Monday and maybe one or two on Tuesday. Wednesday is when we really got some good testing in, and then obviously qualifying started. And so we were going to try to jet it up to where it needs to be, but we put not quite the bigger jet in it, but we went a step up and it just didn't respond quite how we wanted it to. And that's kind of why the car's tore apart behind me right now, is just figuring out all the different, we're trying to get our math right, where, our pounds per hour is where it needs to be, and our flow and all that stuff. And, it had us in left lane. And so we went back to the smaller jet and chipped away at that. And so
there you go.
Like I said, it was pretty consistent. We made, I think, 12, 14 passes. We only knocked the tires twice. So
right.
Wow.
That's pretty good. Obviously the surface there, but that track, everybody says, oh, Georgia, but that track, the surface can get it's temperamental, it gets real temperamental, and it's tricky. The surface is tricky sometimes down there. It's one of those deals that, when the heat gets on it, it heats up fast. And so, you put a nighttime tune up in for the heat, and obviously that's what we did, was knock the tires. So,
yeah.
But you don't know without trying, so. But yeah, I went, that very first time I went with Tony and Scott. They took me when Tony was driving Scott's car, and man, it was a blast. It's a long haul out there, but it's a blast.
How long did it take you guys to pull that out there?
About 17 and a half hours.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm kind of one of those, if we can knock it out in one stretch, let's do it instead of stop.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we left so early that one Sunday morning. It's like, let's just get there.
Right.
Jared says that surface is always known to be tricky there.
100%. And you talk to several different guys that have raced there a long time, and when it's good, but it can be very, very tricky. So one of those deals that, around here we race with the heat a lot. And so these guys kind of, they know what to do. But, Mr. Harper, that last deal that they gave us last time, the surface was like, we'll see some fast stuff for sure. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling about that.
This is Jared's comment. He says, it's awesome to have this many fast cars within 3 hours of each other. Are you going to Alabama?
We are going to try. That's this month, a few weeks. We're going to try. I sent my intake off for some stuff right now, and I gotta fix some other little things that have came about. But we're going to try. If work allows me, we're going to try for sure. So that's, as far as all that radial stuff on the East Coast, that's the closest one to us, so it's only 12.
Jared says, you see how many times we take the hood off in the lanes.
Yeah.
Is there a backstory on that?
Yeah, I seen the KBX guy over there yelling. And yeah, they were all hooting and hollering at each other.
So what would you say your favorite track is?
Oh, hell, I don't know. I like them all, really. I've had good luck at Matt. I've had good luck at Ozark, Mocan, Georgia. Georgia, the atmosphere is just mind-blowing, and I think that race makes it everything. They have a big facility, but it's not like you know, Ennis's facility. You know, I mean, Ennis has a so. But
are you going to try to go to Texas in middle of April?
Yeah,
Radio Roundup.
That's the plan. That's
cool.
the plan. Try to go there.
Good.
I mean, I've always loved Tulsa and I've always loved Ennis. And then, I mean, for our little hometown stuff, I mean, Mad's a good track. I mean, I don't know, Wichita. I like Wichita too. You know, it's one of those that I like all the different tracks. I like going. Every surface is a little different. You know, I mean, just gaining knowledge on all this stuff is really what it's all about. So.
Mm-hmm.
This Mr. Harper says, "We got your back, buddy. We have learned how to make it fast in the Midwest."
Absolutely, and that's what we know. I mean, like I said, that last go around was. I mean, we had a car out, and if I know what we know now, you know, and that surface is there, we'll be in good shape. So around here, I know it's kind of tricky because car count and this, that, and the other. But I mean, in my own honest opinion, there's not any reason that we can't have 16, 20 cars at one time at each of our races. I mean, there's, of course, a lot of people are waiting on parts or builds or this, that, and the other, but
I'm waiting on me.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm slow.
It's not nothing. I don't think it would be hard for us to have a 16 car field at any given time, you know? And so that's the thing with Mad's location is it's great for racers and it pulls in people from the South too, or it can.
Right.
Spectators is kind of hit and miss because it's a ways out there. I get it, but as far as for racers go, I mean, it's kind of centrally located for a lot of people. So,
right.
Jared says limiters and weight adjustments was his hood off on with the tricky track surface at Georgia. You know.
Yep. So,
George Thomas says if the surface is there, the cars will be there.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, we raced with Chopper and them for a long time. They had a hell of a showing in Georgia. I think he went 22.
Yes.
So, and that was in the heat of the day. So when he went 22, so they did very good. And like I said, when we got the Camaro together the first time, we went and raced with all them guys. So, I mean, that's when I met all them guys from Ozark and all that area, Mocan and all that. And I mean, they welcome you like, you know, you're just the next person that, you know, hey, we were brand new, you know, we didn't know nobody. They got their arms open, welcoming people. So I think my favorite race at Ozark is probably Streetcar Take or not Streetcar Takeover,
Street Machines.
Street Machines. Yeah.
Yep. My favorite one. And they, you know, when we were there, because we won that event one time, and Scott Palmer was there and had the dragster and the margarita machine, and anywhere Scott Palmer is, it's a blast. So,
so let's. Here's a little question for you. We always ask. You know, Gary brought this up a few episodes back. When we talk about rivalries, and if you've heard that question, yeah, just talking about rivalries. You know, it keeps you going, that sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
What's your take on all that?
Like as far as who's my rivalry or
no. Well, I mean, just in the show, the last few shows we've been talking about the rivalry question, and so just to catch you up, Gary brought it up because I think he's watching West Buck or something the other day and just talking about, you know, having a rivalry to keep you going. You know, you're talking about your bicycle and your business and the drive. You know,
that's one that it takes. You have all these different guys that keep pushing the next guy, and I mean, I know of some of these combos going together now around here, and I'm like, holy hell, we just got a little minnow out here now, you know. So
right.
I mean, that's what I mean. Everybody wants to be the top dog, you know, and that's where, you know, you got all these different people that are pushing each other, you know, and at the end of the day, everybody's friends and everybody, you know, 100 and professional, you know, but deep down inside them, you know, they're after everybody. I mean, it's cutthroat. Everybody's trying to take everybody's heads off, honestly. So, and I mean, there's so many fast cars around us now that, I mean, I can remember just going out when I helped Tony and Kendall and them for the longest time. You know, I guess kind of didn't talk about that, but I helped them for a long time. And man, I remember when 470s was fast back then, you know, and just like, whoa, broke the 60s. It was like something else, you know, and then the 50s and then the 40s, you know, and now it's, you know, the teens, you know. I mean, it's what Devin did at Arc City, you know. So
yeah.
But yeah, you got to have that. I mean, competition. That's what it is. I mean, that's why we love this, but at the same time, the competition is what drives people, I think. So
that's why my car's apart with a different turbo and trying to knock a couple 100 pounds out of it. That's the exact reason why.
What you got? 155 millimeter now?
It's like a 76.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really light little turbo, you know, a cute little thing.
You ain't got no pictures of that big old honker?
Huh?
You got any pictures of that big old thing?
Not that I can pull up here real quick. I'd have to. Well, let me do this. You want a big picture of it? Here you go. There it is.
255.
Big scary.
Yeah, and that's just. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge around us, and there's a lot of people that, I mean, just flat out know what they're doing. And there's a lot of people that haven't been out racing in a long time that I think will be out this year. You know, and then everybody's always waiting on something, you know. But I think this year is going to be good for the Midwest. Honestly, I mean, there's a lot of heavy hitters, and there's a lot of, I mean, just races. I mean, I know you talk about kind of your schedule of what you guys are planning on doing, and it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding. How are you watching the Flying H and what's going on over there?
A little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. I had read their rules a little bit, but I haven't kept up. I had to turn my my notifications off on that group because it was
yeah.
They're paying pretty hard there.
So I kind of get in there every now and then and see what they were talking about. But you guys gonna plan on going up there anytime?
Some of the races are already on top of other races that we planned on, but wouldn't say no. You know, with the rules and stuff. I mean, it'd be like me going to Texas after race. You know, the Outlaw or whatever, however you want to call it.
Right. Yeah.
Looks like it's class too.
Yeah, and that's the thing around here, you know, it's pretty much tire is the only rule, you know. I mean, yeah the rules, but I mean, we're pretty much outlaw around here, you know. And I wish, you know, it'd be nice if, you know, if I had a car as light as yours, Rod, but
right.
Me too.
Yeah. That's okay.
This is Devin Brown. He says, I want a rematch.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Let's
go.
We
set that up.
Let's go.
Brian Wise says Cameron and I had some great races in the past as well.
Yeah, we did. I think you got him, don't you, Gary?
Yeah, right there.
There we go.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we did a lot of racing. Like I said, I mean, when I was helping, when Tony drove Kendall's car, I mean, hell, I went pretty much everywhere with them, and that was, you know, kind of, I couldn't afford to race at the time, and I wanted to be at the racetrack, and so it was one of them deals that, you know, me and Tony always been super close, and I'm there when he's racing, and he's there when I'm racing.
Yeah. Devin says not in a car show though. Right.
That's funny.
Well, Devin, you need to paint your car white. Yeah, you know, this is how I saw you. You was helping Tony and stuff. I'd see you at the track helping Tony. And then next thing you know, if you say 2020 was that year, next thing you know, 2020, you're in the Camaro when it looked like, you know, this gray or whatever it was, just stomping everybody's ass all year.
Yeah, we
were like, holy cow.
We kind of are undercover when we do stuff. We don't necessarily tell everybody anything, you know, and I tell people a little more than I probably should, but he don't tell nobody nothing, you know, so I think that just goes all the way back to the street racing days, you know, so.
Right.
But yeah, as far as, I mean, we just kind of had it was under the radar. It was at Allen's for a while, and it was just time I was ready to give it a whirl again. And so, like I said, I didn't know that it was ever gonna, you know, that first year. I mean, we had pretty good success that first year, and we met tons of new people, and that's really what it's all about, is we're just making memories and building, you know, lasting friendships, you know. I mean, I talked to a lot of people from all kinds of different areas now, you know, on pretty regular basis, And like I said, I mean, it all goes back to the competition deal too. Is everybody, I mean, it's evolution. Everybody's trying to be that step forward of the next person. So, but yeah, it's been something for me to kind of focus on, outside of work. I don't have kids. I'm newly engaged. November 2nd, we're getting married. So
cool. Congratulations.
My racing's probably over after that, but
no.
I doubt if she won't let that happen.
Yeah.
So
she'd probably be in trouble if you quit racing.
Yeah, yeah.
She's there with the headset on. She looks like she's probably having fun doing that.
Yeah. She enjoys it. She started taking a Friday gig, getting some helping another dentist office, and she was like, that was kind of our discussion at first was, well, when we go racing, you're not gonna be able to go if we're out of town, and I was like, you're just gonna have to own it, and she was like, that was like devastating, but I'm like, it's just one of them deals. If you're young, get it while it's there, so. We got a wedding to pay for, and I know she wants to have kids. So,
oh man,
that really help.
That's snow removal coming. Yeah.
I was sitting on the couch last night. Oh, go ahead, Cameron.
That's for race cars, Rod.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's race car account. There you go.
I was sitting on the couch last night, and Kennedy walks by, and she stopped, and she looks at me, and she goes, "You know what I want to do?" I was like, "No, what?" She goes, "I want to go racing."
Oh,
heck yeah.
Okay. So she's started an internship at Menard, so she has a little more time available. She won't be weekends at Texas Roadhouse. So she's like, let me know them weekends. She's itching to go back to the racetrack and hang out with everybody. She loves the race car friends.
Well, that's fire under you then.
There you go.
Yeah. I wish it was that easy. Man, I need the clock to stop is what I need. I need the clock to stop ticking.
Well,
that would help.
It doesn't stop for anything, and that's the sad about life, is it keeps on going whether you like it or not. So
yeah.
So Cameron, let's go back to Georgia. And I know you had a couple goals and that sort of thing, but you pull in, you get all unloaded, you're talking about testing. Let's just kind of walk through some of those days.
So I wanted to go, so when we were in Ennis, however you say it, late last year, we ended up getting the car, down in the 20s, and I wanted to go there, and I wanted to go a little bit faster than that. I think, with a little more time, we probably could have went a little faster maybe, but I mean, I still went and I set a new personal best 60-foot ET. One of the passes I went my fastest mile an hour. So we went with, I just wanted to progress and learn really what this engine wants, and figure out, with having Mike there helping us, hands on and just kind of learning the different aspects of this tune and what it wants is kind of what it was all about. Obviously, yeah, we wanted to go a little bit further and we tried, we gave it our all, but we were just kind of with where we were at on that jet size. It was pretty limited. I mean, it was pretty much all it had in it. So, we might have had one more, maybe a 24 in it possibly, but it was getting after it. I mean, 102 had no slouch. So, or I should have just went 002 on the tree and then we would have been fine. But, but yeah, that was kind of, I wanted to get back where we were, because we did make a little bit of changes, to go there. Like I said, I had to, I mean, that was my goal. I just wanted to get back where we were, where we finished in the last year and progress from there. And we did that. It's good to set goals for all this different stuff, because you're not going to hit your goal every weekend, and it's discouraging a lot of the times. But the reward is just, it's so rewarding when you do conquer one of them goals, so.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's great. And, talk about being on the top half. So you're number 9 out of 29 cars. Is that right?
I think they ran a 32 car field, but I think overall there was 30, which some of those were, a couple ultra cars down at the bottom that were double entered, but they had a pretty good showing in all the classes. So
yes, they did.
Tony, Tony said he thought he was 9 out of 33 was the last he saw.
And that's what thinking where we were. So
That's
like
great.
That's awesome. Jeez.
that top 10 there, I mean, that was saying something, and it meant a lot, you know. I mean, there was talks, you know, Kenny Hubbard and Little Kenny, we were pitted right behind them, same place we parked when I went with Scott, and they came over and they didn't really recognize the car from when we were in Ennis last year, because I think they were just, that was when he was trying to get his LDR trim. They were just so busy working on his stuff, you know.
Right.
Over, and they were kind of looking around, and of course it's got my TRE in it, and I don't know if you guys knew, but Justin Curry's car came up for sale not too long ago.
Yeah. Or do you have an announcement?
No.
Yeah, it's over there. We can't see it.
Yeah. You want to turn the camera?
Yeah, they were looking at everything, just kind of glancing, you know. We talked to them for a while. You know, later that week they had some awesome cooking and shrimp bowls and
yeah. Woo.
Super great people. I mean, you need anything, that's you know, when you finish a conversation with any of them guys, they say, if you need anything, just holler, you know, and that's when you know that genuinely good people. But anyway, then we were pushing back from one of the qualifying rounds, I think, and Little Kenny was talking to Tony, and they had thought that it was Curry's old car just painted. And you know, he told him, he's like, no, the car came, you know, it was charcoal gray, and we'd been down there racing with you guys a few times, and you know, it's just a whole different look. But it's just when you show, you know, and that's what they were saying, when you just show up out of nowhere and nobody's seen the car, and it's just boom, top half of the field, they kind of get a little, you know, skeptical, like, well, TRE, it's a Camaro, you know, etc. They start thinking things. So I don't know if he ever sold it or not, but I was watching some of the rounds on Flow too, and Barrett was on there, and he was kind of talking about, I think maybe it used to be red, and it came with a couple of motors.
Oh man.
Over.
Dang.
He was like, that's kind of the talk in the pits, you know. And so when I raced White Rice, Eric LaFerry, in that round, he came up to me and said, so how do you like the new car? He said, I don't know, 5-6 years, you know. And he said, oh, I thought it was Curry's old car, you know. And
man, dang.
Yeah. Holy cow.
I think it was one of them deals, because I mean, we did a pretty good job, you know, I think, for ourselves, for no more time than we've had with the new setup, and just going out there and going that in the field. And like I said, I mean, it ain't ever going to be always going to be like that, you know. I mean, you know how it is, everybody struggles, and
sure.
Like I said, if we could go to another race and you know, qualify even higher, that would be a goal. But if not, I mean, it's never going to be rainbows and sunshine, you know. So
right. Now, you guys did a fantastic job and represented yourself very well. And we were all back here at home rooting for, you know, all three of the local guys, but especially, you know, you. And so let's talk about, now we're going into eliminations, and it's E1.
So we, elimination number 1, the guy did not show up. I don't know if he was broke or what have you. I never heard anything. So we tried a little something. It was during the day. And that's one of the passes that we ended up knocking the tires on. So, but you don't know till you try, you know, and that was a good time to. So yeah, we went on to that, and then we had White Rice on round 2, and I mean, everybody knows how fast that car is. You just had to try, you know, and so we just left everything in it, and depending on what the track looked like, it didn't matter, you know. I have a couple little deals on my dash that I can take timing away or what have you that we added, and Tony's like, just do whatever you think you're comfortable with, you know, and I mean, in my mind, we're going for it. I mean, we have to, you know. So there was no doubt in my mind I was ever going to retard the timing at all. So so we got up there, the track was good, and it took it, you know. I mean, Logan sent me a pretty good video from the TV, if you can see, you know. I mean, we put some cars on him at first, and then he just 181 me, you know. I mean, and it was right at the finish line. I mean, I'm squeezing, just come on, and then boom. And I watched the video replay from behind, from one of the videos that one of my guys took, and the lights were just click. I was like, but
Yeah, you had him through the 60 and the 330, and we even put that little. I had that picture last week. We put it up when we was talking about Ducks race and your deal with him, and at the 330, you could see that you was ahead of him,
right?
But the back split was different.
Yep.
Like he was 1-4 something, and he was 1-3.
Yep.
And man,
I mean, he came. I mean, it was gnarly. I mean, he came around and it was just right out the. I mean, you could tell he was probably on whatever buttons he had in there, just trying to. I mean, he went like a 70 on the tree or something, and I didn't really. I'm usually fairly decent on the tree, but that weekend I don't know. I wasn't really pushing on it, and I only went a 32, on the tree, which usually I go pretty consistent 20s, but it was one of them.
You want to see that slip? I got it right here.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
Yep. So we had him. On the so, like I said, it was one of them deals that we just had to take a shot. I mean, we know how fast that car is, and when I got there, and then
then you took a shot against the car that ultimately reset the record.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, so you did great.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes me feel a little better. Obviously, he's the one that went out and set the very next round, set the
409.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean to go O's, that's pretty crazy in X, but he'll be getting weight at it. I'll guarantee you that. So
get some lead trophies.
Yep.
Oh man.
So, but yeah, when we went over to the return road, and super nice guy, Ron had came over and he's like, "Did you get him?" And he's like, well, good job. Well, Eric came over, super nice guy. And he said, "Man, that was a heck of a race." And so it was super fun racing with them guys, just meeting those guys as well. They're all pretty decent people. I didn't meet everybody, but
sure,
we got to meet a lot of people. And for the most part, I mean, everybody was super nice, so you always have, it seems like, them people that just got bad attitudes sometimes. And
but Tony has a solution. He said he got turboed on the other end. All he had to do was go 002 on the tree.
Yep, that's it. That's all I had to do.
Man, that would have been a great win had that happened.
I thought it was good. That's all right. We'll go in next time. So
that 102, is that your best 60 foot?
Yes, sir.
That's good hit.
Scott Linker says the 278 in the front was flying. No doubt.
Yeah, that was, like I said, that was our. I mean, I had been like 281, with this car before Georgia, but it was one of them deals that, I mean, we went and set a personal best for this car. I mean, for the
across the board, huh?
Yeah. The 8 miles. So that was saying something. That meant a lot, so it was definitely worth all the drive. And really, while we were there, I took Brandon Ash and Drew and Tony and me, and we didn't work on a whole lot of stuff. We see all these guys, they're doing all this stuff. I kind of felt bad. I felt like we should be doing something. We
polish the white, something.
Yeah. Just pull the converter out just to do it. Put it back in.
Yeah, right.
It was one of the deals, overall, I mean, the drive there was smooth as could be. The week was pretty smooth as could be. And the drive back, I mean, there was nothing bad about the whole trip at all. So, them guys that went with me, they help a lot. So
Tony says scooter races.
Yeah. That's and they got a little circle track back there. We go mess around on the scooters, but I don't know if you some of these scooters that we got, but they go like 60 or 65 mile an hour. I mean, they'll probably kill you if you crashed it, but
right.
it's pretty gnarly, but yeah, it gave us time where we could go around and buy shirts and look at things and meet people and talk to people and just everybody, it was a first experience for, like Drew. Brandon had been there, him and Steve went there, years and years ago. But today's world's a little bit different than, 10 years ago out there. So I'm glad they all went. I mean, I couldn't do it without them guys. Everybody that went, I mean, everybody had their part, that helped us, do what we needed to, the maintenance on the car, etc. And whether it was cooking and, or drinking beer, we were having a good time. So
what's next for Snow White?
What's that?
What's next for you in 2024?
Oh man, I don't know. I about can't afford nothing else. So it's I would, like I said, if we could go to Alabama later this month, that would be fun. But really, just chipping away at what we got is kind of where we're at. It's pretty much full tilt X rule deal right now, and pretty much where we're going to keep it. Just how the chassis is. I mean, that's all it will ever be. You know, this car, that's pretty much, it's at its max state of life probably right now. So
sure.
That's a question I had. Was your X275 legal? And obviously, you showed how well you can qualify in a heavy hitter field like that. Was like, do you have future goals of stepping into a different class? But you kind of just answered that.
Time will tell, I guess. Obviously, everybody always wants to just go faster and faster. But for where my budget is right now, we got to just stick with this for a good while, you know. So this last go around on the revamp, it hurt the pocketbook pretty good. So
oh, you bet.
Understandable.
we got a few little changes that we're gonna make, you know, that whether Alan knows or doesn't know yet, but
well, I think he's watching. I seen here a while ago. I think he was watching.
He always knows I got some shit up my sleeve, and then I just I message him, and I just please, you know. He's got other projects he's working on right now, you know, but yeah, I mean, overall, I think he's pretty much got this thing. I mean, where it's going to be for probably the rest of its life. I mean, if you want to go any other direction, I mean, basically you're starting over, you know. I mean,
yeah,
we got our chassis cert and all that stuff, you know, and like I said, I think it's fine right where it's at. You know, for around here, obviously it's a little heavier than I would like to race outlaw rules, if you'd say, but nonetheless, it's fun, you know. So I think if you were to start in another class or something, it would probably be a whole different car. So,
right.
Are you going to race in Arc City and getting the points deal that they're going to have this year?
Yeah, I would like to. I would sure like to. The first one's in April, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
April 5th and 6th.
Okay. Yep. So that will definitely will be down there. And then I think the next one's my birthday weekend, which is May 5th. So, so I've usually spent my birthday there for the last couple of years. So
my birthday's May 7th. Dang.
Yeah.
Twins.
I got a lot more years on you though.
Right.
Oh man.
So Cameron, do you have another build in you? Do you have another car you're thinking later?
I would sure like to think so, but yeah, that's a long ways down the road for sure. So
what's that dream car?
Either another Camaro or a Chevy 2, I think probably.
Right.
What year Camaro? Same year Camaro?
Yeah, the first gen. I would like, if I did another one, probably be 69.
Woo, man.
So I don't know. Like I said, that's way on down the road, but
Chris Stewart is building Rodney a fastback right now.
Yeah.
Right, Rodney? That's right.
That thing is slick. It's gonna be a nice car.
Yeah, talent.
This is a good question here. Scott Linker says, tell them how comprehensive tech is with John Sears.
Yeah, it's so we had one tech guy that wasn't John, it was just his helper. He was looking over everything, this, that, and the other, and here comes John, you know, just he's on it, on everything, you know, and he's, if you didn't kind of know how to take him, you'd think he's kind of an asshole, really, but but he takes his job very seriously, and he has to, you know.
He has to, yeah.
Because you got to think of it. There's, I mean, racing in general, there's someone that's cheating, you know. It don't matter what kind of racing you're in, you know. I mean, I grew up, you know, with, and his dad built stocker motors for my whole life growing up, you know, Darrell Weichel, and it was what competitive edge you had over the next guy, you know, especially in the stocker world. I mean, that's that's a whole different deal. But like I said, there's always someone that's trying to cheat the rules or fold the rules, and a lot of them rules are, you know, how do you interpret it and how far can you stretch that rule? And that's what he's there for, you know. But yeah, I mean, he came over, he looked over everything, and we went through a few things, and off to the races we were. But he takes his job very seriously, which he has to, you know. So Super nice guy though, and he kind of explained a few things to us. You ask him questions, he's all open ears, So, because like I said, that was kind of the first time that I had taken my own deal, and so we had questions about a lot of different things. And at first, the scales weren't on. We were just trying to make sure where we needed to be, and so the first couple test days, the scales weren't on, and then they turned them on, and so then we were just fighting, trying to get where we wanted our weight, And it's one of them deals. You don't want to be super close to weight, You want to have a little playroom, but that is one thing. Them scales were all over the place, honestly. If I had to say, say one complaint, the scales. And one time we were 12 pounds light after being 30 pounds heavy. And they tried to say that it was because the wind was blowing on the wing. And I'm like, what?
Right. So a 400-mile-an-hour wind?
Right. So,
jeez.
Like I said, then we went the next time, and then we were 30 pounds overweight. And so we tried to keep it. We were 29.25 is where we were trying to keep, give us a little wiggle room in there. And even that last pass, it was like 29.08. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So,
man, that's about 900 pounds lighter than or heavier than Rodney's car.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So just following all the rules and all that stuff was a whole different caliber of stuff I've ever done. We don't have that around here. It's all open, it's open book.
Just a tire. That's it.
Right. Which is great. You're only limited in your car count when you start putting excess rules in place, So I know a lot of different people, they're doing different classes and stuff, and that's great. But, to a certain point, and I get it, because a lot of them guys are now going 30s and faster, and you got still, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, I understand that. And I think it's great. But like around here, we're going to get our program going first before, you start kind of dictating different classes and stuff, because at the end of the day, you're just limited in car count, and we need all the cars we can get, to keep this thing going around close to us, So,
and 33 cars that John tacked, somebody out of them 33 cars, there had to have been a bent rule somewhere. Maybe, they wasn't a top contender, but
absolutely,
there had to be some gray bent rules somewhere. That's how it's supposed to go.
Yep. Yeah. And that's just, it doesn't matter what kind of racing you're doing. There's someone trying to bend the rules to where, that's just how it is,
Yeah.
100% how it is the competitive edge, they're trying to get the competitive edge over the next guy. So,
John has a tough job.
Oh, 100. No thanks.
24/7 too, it ain't just at the track, you know what I mean? Just like you said about White Rice. Oh, he'll get weight, he's probably blowing up, you know what I mean?
Yep. Well, and I think like on his last, but when he did the record, I think he went 184 mile an hour or something like that. 183.
85. Yeah.
Wow.
It went from an 18 to an 09. So how fast will that car really go? Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
09 is probably not the ceiling.
Yep.
I doubt it.
Yep. So, but yeah, it's a whole different world, that's for sure. But it was a good experience, most definitely. I don't have nothing bad to say about it, obviously, except for the scales are just kind of all over. But you just deal with what they give you, and and that's that. So,
well, you can't go to the scale when the wind's blowing.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that like that Radial Ducks race is back. We watched it over the years. I've never been myself, and just watching it, through streaming and everything, it seemed like the count was a little down and stuff, but it was just an amazing facility to see all those cars there. So I think hats off to that. And then of course the next week we had the World Series of Pro Mod, and it's just like the drag racing community industry is on point right now.
It's a big event after the next. A lot of them guys, they went straight from Radial versus the World to Pro Mod trim and went to Florida. You know how, like, if you guys go to Riverfest around here and like your phone doesn't really work real good, your internet doesn't, there's so many people. That's exactly how it was there. Your internet.
No kidding.
There's that many people, and like Scott said, there was 480 cars,
480.
500 race cars on the property. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
We need to have Elon Musk pop up a Starlink satellite down there or something.
Yep. And a lot of them big, you know, they have Starlinks and they got them all out on the RV, you know, and all that stuff. But I mean, that's how I explained it was, you know, when you're in a certain area and your phone just doesn't work real good, that's absolutely how it was. You know, you knew when everybody started waking up because then your phone would kind of slow.
Yeah.
But like we were talking, the media guys down there, Brandon was talking to that Tickle Fits guy. They were all parked like right behind us. And Brandon asked him, how do you guys, you know, upload stuff and all that? And I guess they have a deal that they pay for high priority internet. And so he said it's like $500 a month, but that's how all the media guys do. They're top of the list when it comes to data. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't know that was even such a thing. So
yeah, no kidding.
Now I know why I can never get service.
Yeah. All the high priority guys paying all that money.
Exactly.
I don't know if I can deal with that. I don't know.
Right.
Man.
So when they call you to the lanes and that sort of thing, and you know, up there they run you pretty quick, or are you sitting there a while? Yeah,
no, they call one class at a time, and they're pretty strict on that because you start getting all these different classes up there, and it's just a mess. But you know, they call in groups, so you'll have like the first 4 say X, you know, and then you'll have, you know, 5 through 10, and then the rest, you know, everybody, you start out with kind of a number on the bracket, and that's just how they call you up. So it's a pretty well organized ran event. I mean, cleanups, we didn't see, you know, too many wrecks. I think there was a couple, but as far as cleanup goes and all that stuff, I mean, they're not scared to go out there, scrape the track before we ran, and put some new stuff down real quick and run them on down through there. You know, I mean, they're not scared to do that.
Yep.
And now they're not scraping the whole track, but they're, you know, they'd scrape certain 10 feet if it looked bad, and start burning more rubber on there and drag it and go, you know. So, but they have, I mean, you've seen the equipment they have. I mean, that's state of the art. They ain't playing around. So.
No. Yeah, there's 3 or 4 tractors dragging, just, you know, chasing each other. They're not messing around with one tractor.
Yep.
There's 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think they had 2 rotators, maybe 3, and then 2 or 3 just drag.
Yep.
And they got the scraper on the mower. You know, they go out there and scrape it real quick. And but yeah, it's pretty neat.
Speaking of mower and scraper, did you hear Mr. Harper is getting a mower / scraper?
Awesome.
Yes. Yep.
Great.
He's got one of them hooked up. So
his back will appreciate him.
Yeah. Yes. His labor. Yeah.
Yep. That's going to cut down on labor for sure.
Yep. We Rodney and I have talked about, you dream about your bucket list and stuff, and we're talking to you about that now, but we've talked about, and Keith and I have talked about it too, about going to that race sometime. I'm not class legal to anything, but get into a class that fits, and man, go experience that and have fun, and it'd be a really cool deal.
New deal. And that's what me and Tony were talking about. He would love to take, his old red car down there and race it. They got that streetcar bragging right deal now.
Yeah. That's the only thing my car would fit in.
It's super cool. I mean, and they separate that into, 2 different classes, extreme and wild or something like that, you know?
Yep.
But that class, that's a cool deal, because you can now, I mean, I think it's great that they did that, because now you can bring those guys in that didn't necessarily have, something in these other classes, because really it was only, I mean, ultra was the lowest that it went, for the longest time. So, in which, as evolution occurs, all them classes, I mean, they keep progressing, I mean, in Pro 275, they went 360, there was most cars that weren't going 360. So it's one of them deals that they have to, you got to keep up with evolution, and you got to keep up with people that love drag racing, but can't afford to spend $250,000 on a race car, I mean,
right.
And of course, are catered to, but that streetcar bragging right deal is
that'd be cool.
Super cool deal.
I talked to Dan Wheeler this week, and he sent over a his window guy, after hours, his window guy peeled the optic armor out of my stock steel hatch so I can put it into my fiberglass hatch. And I'm going to put a stock Mustang glass back in that steel hatch so I can have options to do stuff like that with the stock glass in the car.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's just trying to adapt the car to, fit in different stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And it's one of them deals that, I mean, I'm sure you hear the argument about the all steel, all glass rules, and they were kind of open for a while. Brought that on themselves, but every track's a little different too. But I mean, yeah, I mean, there was stuff there. I'm like, all steel, all glass. Are you kidding me?
Not much steel and not much glass.
I mean,
crazy.
They were flying. Let's put it that way.
Yes. And that's a no time deal, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's crazy.
And then the streetcar bragging right deal, I think it's a quarter-mile deal.
It is.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
yep.
That's also a neat deal about that is quarter-mile.
Devin was going 220 plus in that deal.
Wow.
Like 640s or something like that. 220. 420s in the 8th and, riding out the back.
Right.
Man.
Right.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. And that's just, I mean, they had to do something to attract more people. And I mean, everywhere, spectator-wise, everywhere was full at that place. And they have their different events, and Lyle Barnett and Mac Fab B, they put on different events at night. And I mean, we went over there and they had like tree competition every night, and the cornhole boards, and just all kinds of stuff to keep everybody, kind of actively involved and stuff. And like I said, the streetcar bragging right dude, he was actually the one that put together that shrimp boil stuff and crab leg. I mean, I don't know how much he spent on that, but there was a bunch.
Yes, saw those pictures.
Crab legs are not cheap. I mean, they had it going on. So they had it going on.
It looked good.
Yeah, it was. It was very good.
So, Cam, we're getting to the point of the show where we're talking about, people that help you out along the way, your kind of your ride or dies and that sort of thing. Anybody here you want to thank or sponsors along the way?
I mean, obviously it all started with my competition edge, and, my parents get me into BMX racing, and that kind of was where my competitive edge started from. And just, I've had many friends and many influences over the years, that have kind of helped me along the way, whether it's business or racing or just personally, but as far as the racing stuff goes, I mean, there's a lot of relationships that I built, especially over this last revamp of Snow White, that are relationships that I can text, ask questions, I can call at any time, and they help. As far as, vendors go, and that's a whole huge long list, but but as far as, my main help, on my crew and stuff, I mean, these guys, I couldn't do it without them. I mean, it's been, me and Tony, me and Drew, Brandon's been tagging along with us here over the last year or so, and without them guys, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it all by myself. It's a different caliber of car than it was before, and Lauren, she's there always helping. And back then it was, me and Lauren, we'd just load up and we'd go off to, St. Louis or wherever. And it was a little easier car. And we kind of got a routine down now that, it works well for us. She's a little more busy than what we were back then. But, I mean, it's a lot that goes into, I mean, cooling down the car, we're nitrous car, we're doing plugs, we're, going over everything. I always kind of have a deal about looking at certain stuff, we're running valves. I mean, any of that preventative maintenance stuff, it goes a long ways, but like I said, I mean, my crew, Tony, Brandon, Lauren, Drew, I mean, all them guys help a bunch. And obviously Taylor's been a big help at TRE. He's been developing stuff, that has helped, I mean, Doug and Marty, they built a converter this last time. Mark Mickey, I mean, I can message him at any time and he'll message right back about what, any questions that we need. And Alan, I mean, Alan's got this car where it is today, and it wouldn't be possible without him. So there's, I mean, like I said, there's tons of different people, but there's a lot of different people involved in all this stuff. But I got to give it to my crew because we're the ones out here doing this stuff. Mike Thompson's the one that's helping us, on the computer a lot. He's out on the East Coast, but yeah, I mean, everybody involved. It's you guys know how it is. It's a team effort. So it's hard to do. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. It's easy to give up. And the guys that I know and you guys around here, I mean, ain't much of us got any quit in us. So
yeah, no, well said.
Yeah. Since we have a second, I want to give a shout out to your business, Shannon. Cameron, Shannon, I called you Shannon. Luxury Lawn and Landscape. They say a happy wife, happy life. If the truck doing your yard stuff doesn't look like this, then your grass probably looks like this. This is what my grass used to look like in 2020.
Yep.
All I did was provide the water, and this was pre-well, but this was, I'm doing sprinkler heads here, and you made my wife really happy with the service you provide.
Well, I'm glad. We're not perfect. We try to keep everybody the only customer.
All I do is provide the water.
Yeah.
And your magic grass or magic whatever you're putting on it does the rest.
Well, we appreciate it. Like I said, it takes this is a whole army now what we got going on, and that's another thing. I mean, I can't do any of this stuff without the guys that I got here at the business. I mean, they're grinding day in and day out, and we're all just trying to improve every day. That's what I try to stress to my guys. If we're not here improving every day, then what are we? We're only as good as our weakest link, and quality has always been one of them deals for me that if we're gonna do it, let's do it right, and let's do it to be the best. Not saying that we're the, but we're gonna give it. It's not from lack of effort, So it's one of those deals that it's been a long road. It's been a hard road. We went through so many ups and downs, but and it'll continue like that. Business will always be like that, but it takes customers like you guys selves. I mean, we do a little bit of stuff for Rod, and we do some for Gary. I mean, there's all the word of mouth stuff. I mean, that's what I love the most is when, like I said, we're not perfect. My communication sometimes isn't the best. I mean, we're super busy, but I never try to leave anybody hanging, and it's one of those deals that we just keep on trying. We just keep on trying. So,
yep. I've never been a green grass, awesome yard kind of guy until I had it,
right.
and I was like, man, this looks really good. And we're outside goofing off today, and I'm looking at the grass like, man, I can't wait till this stuff's killer green again. It looks so much better when it looks good. And
right.
Man, thank you to you and your crew of guys that come over and spray it and fertilize it and all the stuff they do. Man, my wife loves it. She loves mowing in the dark. She loves mowing. She just loves that stuff. So,
well, I appreciate that. Yeah. And like I said, I mean, we're all trying. I mean, it goes all the way from, the guys out in the field to, the office manager, Maya. I mean, she keeps us all in line, and she takes most of the communication, and she deals with a lot of the customers. I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm still kind of the face of the business, and I'm out meeting people and putting fires out and taking care of stuff. But, kind of the supervisors that we got in place now, I mean, I think we're on to something good, and it's only going to get better, hopefully. So it's kind of a lot of that stuff's been a learning curve for me. I mean, I've never done, business wise, something like this. Last year we ran about an average of 30 employees. So that, to me, that's a big accomplishment, So
Absolutely.
growth, has been there every year. And so, like I said, it's just one of those deals that we're only as good as our weakest link. And so we're just trying to, it's not for everybody. People come from different companies, and they're just like, it's like hell over here.
Right.
It's not necessarily because of them. It's just we have a certain way that we do things, and I'm very upfront, very blunt, like, hey, this is how things are going to go. And I've trained my supervisors to be the same, because quality is one thing in any industry. I don't care what you're doing, that can lack very easy, very, very easy. I mean, you guys are in aerospace, if if the quality inspector is not doing his job, then a lot of people are going to be in trouble.
And doors fly off of airplanes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, it doesn't matter any industry that you're in. I've always been one that if we're going to do it, let's do it and try to be the best at it, no matter what we do, whether it's racing, whether it's mowing grass, fertilizing, whatever we do, let's put our pride and put our effort into it. And that's just, it's hard, trying in today's world to find those people, and you got to hold on to them when you're there. And of course, people are always trying to better themselves, and that's what I stress every day. Hey, let's try to be better than we were yesterday. It just takes, obviously it takes a good group of guys, but I think good leadership goes a long ways as well. So
absolutely.
I know my wife and Rodney, they'll send them grass pictures back and forth. If they cut the grass, look at my lines in this, there's that more competition right there. Is look at my lines, look at my grass type of deal.
It's one of those deals, even, friendly competition just keeps people, like I said, it keeps everybody trying to be, a better person, and whether it's in your personal life, whether it's, your household items, whatever, there's always that competitive edge where, people like nice things. Let's just face it. And that's just kind of how we're all human, and so we like nice things, So.
If she could mow the grass right now at 8:52, she'd be out mowing the grass. She washed her lawnmower today.
Yeah.
It's full of gas. Dude, it is ready to go.
She's ready.
It's ready.
Yeah. The questions will be coming then, huh?
Maybe. I know I see right here that she's watching, so she may have a comment, but yeah. She's watching.
Yeah. Here she comes.
Hopefully she don't wear you out.
No. Not at all. Not at all. You guys are great customers, and that's what we're in business for, is customer service. That's one thing that we try to separate ourselves from the competition is, let's face it, there's hundreds of companies out here, and customer service, providing good customer service and quality, is what we try to pride ourselves on. And we're only human. There's going to be accidents. There's going to be stuff that happens. It's just how the company takes care of it. Like I said, that's any industry, customer service. People want to be able to talk to somebody. If they got an issue, they want it fixed, and that's how it's got to be. We're only human. Stuff's going to happen. So,
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
All right, Cameron, well, just kind of finalizing things here. I know I made it through my list, and I'm asking Gary here. Do you got anything else, Gary?
That got through my list also, and I'm kind of smoking through the comments here.
Well, and I appreciate you guys having me on. It's one of those deals that I don't necessarily have a problem talking with people ever, but I don't ever do like live feeds and stuff like that. I'm sure you guys hear that all the time. And it's been fun. It's been, it's fun.
Have you done something like this before?
Not necessarily. No.
Good.
Not really. So, like I said,
we've only done 24 of them. You're 25.
Yeah. Well, and it's been a good time. So, like I said,
we're glad you came on, and thanks for taking the opportunity. And just kind of want to give you the floor one last time. Anybody you want to thank, or one quick story, and then we can let you go.
2024, everybody better watch out. That's all I got to say.
There you go. That's
boom.
I'll just leave my car in the garage on jack stands then.
And we got to get them all going,
No.
Yes. Yeah, we need the car count. We need the support.
We do. Cameron, I love racing you. You're heads up racer. Going in the beams, everything before the race, after the race, talking about it afterwards, top notch, professional. So just really enjoy, lining up next year.
Yep. Jared Johnson says, hats off to you, your team, and your program.
Thank you, Jared. We'll see you soon. Good job on your guys getting that car down the racetrack.
Yep. And Shelly and Kurt says, good job, Cameron Marsolf, at racing and your career.
Thank you, guys. I always enjoy talking with them when I see them.
Who's this? Hang on a second. Oh, okay. You're seeing this as Facebook user. Yeah. You want to guess who says this? Three Jay-Z's are coming in hot. Who do you think that is?
Hell, I have no idea.
It's Shane Mock. He's trading his big block Chevy for a 3JZ, 2JZ.
I forgot he's calling it 3JZ. Yeah,
3JZ.
I call them the Hemi Bros.
Right. Yep. That's good.
Like I said, I think everybody's motivated. I mean, I know there's a lot of people putting in work on several different projects, and it's that competitive edge. I mean, it keeps everybody going. And like I said, it's all a hobby at the end of the day.
Yep.
I don't ever plan on being a professional race car driver, but like I said, it's something competitive, keeps us going, and the relationships and the memories that you build along the way is what it's all about.
Yep, that's a good point. Win or lose, the friendships and memories are always going to be there.
100%. And that's one thing that, some people, I've never been a sore loser or anything. Win or lose, it's a blast. You know what I mean? So, of course, everybody always wants to win every time, but win or lose, I mean, you go on and you just got to try harder the next time. So,
yep,
that's it.
Shane says that's how they identify. The Hemis identify as a 3JZ. Freaking reeking. Jose says red GTs for life. Dude, my car ain't gonna be red.
You ain't gonna keep it red?
Well, I was gonna say it can be red for long, but it's gonna be red for a year or two till it hits the body shop, till I decide to blow it apart and change the color. But so it's gonna look like crap for a while, huh?
And Headcalf and Logan, strongly recommend.
It's going to Salina, to my paint guy in Salina.
Everybody's got, but them guys, man, they
yes, you are right.
Occasion, so
testify.
Yep. Shane says that's Mitch Brown. Oh, I want to win. Oh man,
Brown, I got to come talk to him about getting some stuff done anyway. So.
Jose says no. Man, my car's gonna look like poop, but that's the way it goes.
Yep.
It's gonna look terrible for a while, but all right, Rodney, what do you got?
I'm ready to call it. I'm done with my list, and we went through the comments, and I think Cameron said his final things. So,
yep. Gary, cool. Get the car together.
Man, I'm trying. And I've told people before, what I'm doing right now should have got done last year, but there was some stuff out of my control, so it's really sucks. But
nothing you can do there. Yep. Nothing you can do there. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys this year, racing with y'all, and it'll be fun. 2024 is gonna be fun.
That's right. You're right.
Thank you, Cameron.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for your evening. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you at the track.
Perfect. See you guys. Thank you.
All right. See you, Cameron. Bye.
Bye.
Man, that was awesome.
Yeah. I learned a lot about him. I didn't know.
Yeah, same. I had no idea he was a heavy BMX racer when he was young.
Mm-hmm.
For 15 years. Wow.
Wow. So looking ahead to next week, let's just talk about it. We know that the first race at Mid-America Dragway is going to be on March 16th. It's going to be that no prep event. And so we reached out to Gary Harper, and we also reached out to Nick Roberts, so that has some involvement putting that race on. So you tune in next week, and we'll run through kind of that day and what classes are going to have and the rules they're going to have, and just kind of a look ahead to that. So they'll be pumping that up. I think Harper's going to also talk about some things he's got going on at the track with some new lighting and some new concrete along the walls and just all the improvements they've done in the last 30, 60, 90 days. So we're excited about that as well.
Yep.
So just a good episode. Gary did a great job. And while we're thinking about it and thanking people, why don't we thank our sponsors?
Yep. Let me rip over here and hit this. Thank our sponsors: Mid-America Dragway, Ultra Color Collision Repair, Sandlin Iron and Metal Auto Salvage, and Harry Street Carpet. Thank you to those awesome partners.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Next week will be cool. And that'll be the Sunday before the track kicks off, the no prep. So that'll be weird. It's, the season's starting.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It is. And, we talked about it too, doing these little interviews and stuff throughout the winter. And, like you said, I think we did 16, 17.
Yeah.
And, now we'll kind of just refocus on the racing and that sort of thing, and things coming up, and recapping those events and just going into spring.
It's hard to believe how fast winter went with, at the end of racing, like we should talk to people and what they're doing and this and that and the other, and bam, next thing you know, now it's March already.
Yeah.
And it's about to start up again. It's just unbelievable how fast that went.
I know.
And there was only, we was talking the other day, there was only a couple Sundays that we didn't hit something,
Right.
So
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Excited to hear. I think Mr. Harper will send us some pictures and stuff for next week and hear about the upgrades and how that progress is going out there with that. That'll be awesome to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm
it'll
excited.
It'll be stuff that people will really like to see happening.
Absolutely. I'm just so excited for Mid-America Dragway and everything they're doing, for the improvements. And, this will be his second year there, the Harpers. And just looking for, like Cameron just said, good 2024. So,
yeah. Next week will be good. Kind of the start of kicking off the year.
That's right. Going to do a little no prep.
And then, that no prep is on that 16th. And then there's a test and tune. And then after that is heads up kicks off. So
the 5th.
And
what is that, 5 weeks?
Dude, it flew by.
It did. You got just a couple more weeks, get those tubes added.
I'd like to say I'll be ready. Woo! Man.
I know.
Yeah, that'd be tough to pull off.
Yeah.
I'd have to quit my job for a little bit.
Right. Calling sick.
But man.
It was so cool to see Cameron's car back out. Like he said, he had it out, kind of had it being upgraded for a couple of years. It came out last year at the end, won that last Dark City, went down to Ennis, got the 20s, and then had a fantastic outing at Ducks Race too. So hats off to that team. I want to see what it's all going to do this year as well. And so it's just exciting to be out there and be racing. I'm just glad I can be some small part of it, just to be running as well. So.
Yeah, and for them guys to go to Georgia, those Midwest cars, him, Chopper in the Topeka area, and Jared from Kansas City area, those 33 cars, 3 of them in the top half of the field from right here, real close. So that's really cool.
A couple nitrous and a turbo car. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. We don't have any new comments. I'm going to kick this over here and hit our YouTube channel, Heads Up Racing Gary and Hot Rod Podcast. It looks like this if you come across it. Subscribe to that. And that's about all we got, isn't it?
Yes, sir. No, it sounds good. Great show. Right. 2 hours. Man, we're getting good at this. Number 25, silver.
Dang,
so
25.
Just think, seriously, 25 down, 25 to go. We'll be at 50. There you go.
Man. Where will that put us about? I don't know. Let's see. October, November, December, January, February.
52 weeks in a year.
That put us at near the end of the year, maybe?
Yeah.
Or over halfway. 4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah. Dang. Yeah. Well, thanks to you for coming along on this ride. And and, we're 25 deep now. So
it's just been exciting. It's been great. And like you said, we get to know people, and just like today, I know Cameron, but I learned some things, which is awesome. And he's one of those guys that I get up on the wheel. I love racing him, and I'm so happy for his business and everything he's going. So. It's funny too, because it's just good to see him out and going. So,
Well, I'm glad he's good at racing and grass.
Yeah,
so it makes
definitely good at
my grass look good.
Yeah,
we got another comment that popped in here. Mrs. Harper says, "Make sure your subscribers click the thumbs up button." Yes, that thumbs up button does something with the algorithm and stuff. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it plays a part. So
absolutely. Thank you.
Yep. Absolutely. Thanks for that reminder, Mrs. Harper. And
Cool.
All right, Rod.
Thanks a lot.
Man, thanks for a great night. Cameron was awesome. Cameron, if you're still hanging in somewhere, that was great. Thank you. All right.
All right, here we go. See if I can do it this time. Ready?
Right. 5. Yep.
Whoa.
I just remembered I need to find a sound effect for that. Yeah. 5.
That's funny.
All right, everybody. Thank you. And we'll be back next week with some no prep talk with Mr. Harper and Nick. So
have a good weekend or good week. Excuse me.
Yeah. See you later and good night, Rodney.
All right, buddy.